I'm Dr. Susan Hillock. Welcome to Introduction to Feminist Counselling. Some of you may have questions about the topic. For example, what is feminism? Or, how do I apply feminist theory to counseling? And some of you may even be wondering, how do I know if I'm a feminist? Let's explore these questions. Popular culture has portrayed feminism in fairly negative and stereotypic fashion. If you close your eyes and think about feminism, you'll probably imagine a man-hating woman who refuses to shave her legs or wear makeup, who spends her leisure time burning bras. I don't know about you, but given the price of bras these days, that seems a pretty expensive, if unlikely, hobby. These negative stereotypes serve a purpose. Within patriarchy, they function to keep people in the dark about what feminism actually is. They also guarantee that people are pretty reluctant to identify as feminists. When asked to define feminism, local mall shoppers and university students said,
"It's against men.
Women's rights."
They're taking the idea of equality too far.
I don't know. Does it have something to do with girls?
It's about women's equality.
For the purposes of this presentation, we define feminism as a way of thinking, approaching, and analyzing women's and other marginalized groups' socioeconomic, political status, and situated experiences of oppression within patriarchy. Feminists also critique the way societies choose to organize and distribute power, status, privilege, and wealth, and analyze how these choices privilege dominant groups and oppress marginalized groups. Although there are many types of feminism, most feminist counselors share these values and principles. The personal is political. They help create more awareness and promote critical thinking about how social structures can contribute to the problems that individuals and groups may be experiencing. Reconceptualize power. Feminist counselors identify the power imbalance between dominant and subordinate groups. Rename reality. They link people's private experiences with public issues. Create new methodologies. They look for effective ways to make change and end violence. Similar to other approaches, feminist counselors follow these basic counseling stages. Preparation. They ensure that their meeting space is private and comfortable. They also take time to think about the people they are about to see and how they can best meet their needs. Beginning, which includes introductions, joining an engagement, introducing confidentiality, and beginning to collaboratively set goals. Middle, choosing, contracting, and implementing agreed-upon goals and intervention plans. Ending, evaluate the service user progress, establish future goals and support, and initiate closure. In contrast to mainstream approaches, feminist counselors apply values which can be labeled as distinctly feminist. Some of these are power sharing, making sure the counseling relationship is less intimidating by sharing power with the service user. Valuing process as equal to product. The feminist approach emphasizes that the journey is just as important as the destination. Ensuring informed consent. Feminist counselors demystify the counseling process and share pertinent information with service users. De-experting. Feminist counselors ensure that the service users, not the counselors, are viewed as experts in their own lives. Valuing service users. They seek out examples of service user strengths, capacities, and resilience in order to affirm and validate what people are capable of achieving, encouraging self-expression through art, music, stories, myths, narratives, and rituals. First, we see Anna, the feminist counselor, warming up and humanizing her office to create a safe environment and celebrate diversity. She also takes time to think about the service user, the person's history of oppression, his or her gender, race, class, and so on. She also reflects on her own privilege and bias, takes time to think about what resources and information they may need, and acknowledges her own limits and fears. Feminists apply a specific skill set, which differs from mainstream approaches. They look at engagement and joining, showing warmth and acceptance, genuineness, empathy, and displaying a non-judgmental attitude. Active and reflective listening, helping service users to tell their story, organize, and name their experience. Minimize power imbalance by paying attention to the power dynamics in the therapeutic relationship, using first names, and mutually developing counseling goals. Next, Anna demonstrates these skills.
Hi Stephanie, my name is Anna. It's nice to meet you.
Hi, you too.
I've noticed that you seem a little nervous today.
Yeah, my doctor says I have anxiety.
Oh, okay. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I feel like I'm going crazy sometimes.
So do you think that you're here because you're crazy?
I don't know. Like sometimes I get this heaviness in my chest and it hurts. Like I feel like I can't breathe and like I'm gonna have a heart attack. And I go to the hospital and all they can tell me is that it's in my head.
Wow, that sounds terrifying.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm gonna die.
I can't imagine to feel that way and then have someone tell me that it's all in my head.
Yeah, it's frustrating and I don't know what to do anymore.
Kira, a feminist counselor, also demonstrates these beginning skills with a service user named Elaine.
Hi Elaine, how are you?
Hi.
I'm Kira, nice to meet you. Please come in and choose any seat you like.
Okay, I think I'll sit right here.
Sure. Elaine, a lot of people tell me when they come in to see me, they're nervous. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling a little bit anxious.
What in particular makes you anxious?
Well, just talking about myself makes you feel anxious.
I understand that. We discussed confidentiality during our phone conversation. Do you have any questions about confidentiality?
No, it's pretty clear.
So please tell me, what brings you in today?
Well, I'm a single mom. I'm broke, and my kids are always fighting. It's very frustrating. I just don't have any energy to deal with it anymore.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3 boys, 3, 7, and 10.
Wow, that's something. I have 2 kids of my own, older than yours, and I'm still exhausted. Do you work outside the home?
Yeah, I'm a housekeeper at a hotel.
So it's kind of like you're doing a double shift. You're housekeeping and then you're going home and keeping the house full time?
Yeah, I should be pretty good at it by now.
Yes, but your work never ends. No wonder you're retired.
As they listen to the service user stories and begin to collaboratively set goals, Anna and Kira demonstrate a deep understanding of service users' experiences by using the following feminist skills. Validation, letting people know that given their story, it makes sense that they're having personal struggles. Normalization, assisting service users to recognize that they are not alone and that many people have similar experiences. Depathologizing, helping people recognize that they are more than just their story and that there may be broader societal reasons for their personal problems. Reframing, inviting service users to view their choices, behaviors, and feelings as normal responses to oppression and trauma. Self-disclosure, sharing personal information or a related experience to deepen the quality of the therapeutic relationship.
So Stephanie, last week we talked about how your anxiety has been lately, but we didn't really talk about how it all started for you. I was thinking that a lot of women who experience anxiety have been hurt by someone in their past. Can you think of anyone who's hurt you before?
Well, I don't know. I've never thought of that. I didn't think it was related. When I was 18, I was raped, and I've never talked to anybody about it.
Okay. So you're right, it might not be related, but a lot of women that experience anxiety have survived a sexual assault. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't know, like when it first happened, I had nightmares and I thought that I could handle it on my own. Like I never sleep well, but sometimes I wake up and I can still feel him on top of me, like that heavy pressure.
Wow. I can't imagine waking up every night and feeling like he was there on top of me and that it was happening all over again. That must be really hard for you. Stephanie, women often feel like they have to handle this alone or that it's their fault. What you're experiencing is a normal response to a traumatic event.
Do you think it's normal for me to feel like I'm dying?
Yes, it's very common among abuse survivors. A lot of women feel like they have to deal with things on their own.
Yeah, I thought it was my fault. Like, I knew him. Like, I went out with him. Like, I loved him.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
In our last visit, we talked about how you were feeling. You were feeling frustrated, working at home. You described yourself as being broke, and your kids weren't listening. Is that a good summary?
Yes, that sounds about right.
One of the things we agreed on last time was to work on your fatigue and frustration. Is that still what you would want to do?
Yes.
So please tell me, how was your last week?
Well, it was hard. The kids have been fighting. They had to go to school. It was embarrassing.
Embarrassing?
Yeah, because they look at me like I'm being a bad mom, and I feel like they're judging me. And the kids have been fighting, and all I could do is just go home, shut the door, and stay in my room, and I just feel like a bad mom.
A lot of women in your situation have that inner voice telling them they're not doing things right.
So it's not just me?
No. I think in society puts a lot of pressure on women, especially moms, to do things perfectly.
I want to do things perfectly. I want great things for my kids.
Elaine, I'm amazed with your strength to keep all those balls in the air. If I were you, I'd be exhausted too.
Feminists analyze and attempt to dismantle systems of oppression and work to build a society free of violence, inequality, discrimination, and exploitation. To achieve these goals, feminist counselors use critical questioning and gentle prompting to raise consciousness and encourage collectivization with service users, friends, family, colleagues, agencies, and communities. One example of consciousness raising is assisting service users to see how social structures may create and perpetuate inequality, oppression, and personal problems. An example of collectivization is uniting service users with others to connect and develop alternative systems for social change. Let's see how to apply consciousness raising and collectivization in both personal relationships and professional settings. Here, Anna explains to Stephanie how her individual experience may be connected to broader social issues.
So Stephanie, when we first met, we talked about how you felt like you were going crazy. We talked about your anxiety and also how your rate might be linked to your anxiety. I was thinking that your feelings of panic might be a survival mechanism, a way of protecting yourself.
In what way?
So the fact that you were raped in the first place means that society isn't safe for women and we have to protect ourselves. The panic that hits you is because you feel endangered, and for a really good reason.
But how do I make it stop? Like, the panic when there's no danger.
Well, why don't we make this our focus over the next few sessions?
That sounds good.
Next, Anna invites Stephanie to attend a peace protest with other people working to stop violence.
I'm really impressed with how you've managed to decrease the level of anxiety in your life. You tell me you're feeling safer now too?
Yeah, I definitely feel like my anxiety has gotten a lot better and that I have more control over it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Normally at this point when I work with people, I suggest that we start working together to create some bigger changes.
What do you mean?
Well, we talked about how a lot of other women have similar experiences to yours, and there's actually ways that we can all work together to make the community safer.
How do we do that?
Well, there's lots of different opportunities, but for example, tomorrow night there's an event downtown, and the goal is to stop violence against women. Maybe you want to go with me? You might meet some people there that have some similar goals and passions as you do for change.
Yeah, I think I'd like that.
Feminist counselors don't just use these skills with service users. See how Elena spreads awareness at her workplace and invites a colleague to attend a peace protest.
Hey Sky, how are you doing?
Oh, hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm busy. But what's new?
Not too much. Did you hear about that protest that's going on tonight? Women's rights, yay.
I did. Are you going?
No. I actually think those things are kind of pointless.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, don't dress like a slut and don't walk downtown in the middle of the night and you should be fine.
So men can do whatever they want and we have to dress like nuns and be careful of our hours.
Just a reality.
Well, reality is that 1 in 2 women is abused, even in their own home by their own family members. You don't hear those kinds of stats about men.
No, I guess not, but I mean, what do you do?
Well, for a start, you go to the rally tonight and raise awareness about what's going on for women in the world. People don't know when we don't take a stand, nothing's going to change. I'll be there if you change your mind.
I'll think about it.
Okay.
Watch how Sky, then, shares his new awareness at home.
Oh, hey. Hey. I am so glad this day is over.
What's wrong? You look frustrated.
I am frustrated. I don't know. I just don't think I'm effective with the service users. I'm one person trying to make change.
That does sound frustrating. You want to talk?
I don't know. Do you have any ideas?
Well, I was talking to my coworker Elena today, and she said if we want to affect change, we have to work together.
I don't know what you mean.
For example, there's that protest tonight for women's rights. If you want, we have time and we can go.
Yeah, you know what? It's been a really long day, but I'd love to go. So let's do that. I'm going to go get changed.
Okay.
Later, they all attend the peace protest.
I'm so glad you guys came. Nice to meet you. United we stand. Divided we fall. United we stand. Divided we fall. Stop the violence. Right now. Stop the violence. Right now.
As you've seen, feminism, unlike mainstream approaches, views counseling as a political activity. It is not enough to simply critique existing structures, meet basic needs, and alleviate suffering. We have to work together to recognize and dismantle our own privilege, develop plans for personal and political change, and unite with others to resist oppression to build a better world.
The more I think about it, if we all raise our voices, we can make a difference.
If you're still wondering what a feminist looks like, take a look in the mirror. It might just be you.